Imagine you're walking through a busy city, and everywhere around you, people are speaking English. At first, it sounds like a chaotic mix of sounds and words you can't quite grasp. But slowly, as you listen more closely, individual words start to stand out. You recognize phrases. Sentences start making sense. Suddenly, you're not just hearing English. You're understanding it. What's happening? Your brain is learning through one of the most powerful methods possible. Listening. The power of listening in language learning. When learning a new language, many of us focus on reading, writing, and speaking. But there's an underrated skill that, if given enough attention, can drastically speed up our English learning journey. Listening. It's a skill that's both easy to practice and deeply beneficial. Listening is a passive activity that helps us pick up on pronunciation, tone, and even grammar without realizing it. The more you expose yourself to English, the more your mind begins to absorb its rhythms and nuances. So why is listening so important? Think about how babies learn their native language. They don't start by reading or writing. They start by listening. From the moment they're born, they're exposed to a constant stream of language, and over time, this listening forms the foundation for their speaking abilities. As adult learners, we can replicate this process to make learning English easier and faster. Listening builds vocabulary without effort. When you listen to English conversations, music, or shows, you're exposed to a variety of vocabulary words, often repeated in different contexts. This exposure helps you remember words and understand their meanings naturally. For example, hearing the word delicious, used in the context of food, or amazing, when someone is excited about an event, makes it easier to remember what these words mean and how to use them. The beauty of listening is that it doesn't feel like studying. Instead, you're engaging with real language in real situations. This makes vocabulary learning not only easier but also more enjoyable. Unlike flashcards or vocabulary lists, listening immerses you in the language, giving you context and helping you remember words more effectively. Practice suggestion. Find a podcast, audiobook, or YouTube channel that interests you. Listen to it daily. The more you listen, the more vocabulary you'll pick up effortlessly. Developing a natural accent and pronunciation. Have you ever noticed that people who learn English through listening often have a more natural accent? That's because listening to native speakers helps you pick up on subtle sounds and rhythms that textbooks can't teach. Listening helps you become aware of the correct pronunciation of words, the intonation of sentences, and the natural pauses in speech. The best part? You don't need to practice pronunciation directly. Just by listening, you're training your ear to recognize sounds, which will naturally improve your pronunciation. Think of it like music. If you listen to a song over and over again, you can eventually sing it almost perfectly without much effort. Similarly, the more you listen to English, the closer your accent and pronunciation will be to native speakers. Practice suggestion. Watch English movies or TV shows without subtitles. Focus on how the characters speak and try to mimic their pronunciation. This will help you gain confidence and improve your accent over time. Understanding grammar in action. Grammar can feel like a complex puzzle, especially if you're learning through rules and textbooks alone. However, listening to native speakers allows you to hear grammar in context, helping you understand it more naturally. For example, instead of memorizing when to use I am versus I was, you'll hear these phrases in context, and over time, they'll begin to feel natural. Listening gives you the chance to understand how sentences are constructed, how tenses are used, and how people actually talk in real life. Grammar learned through listening is more intuitive and less rigid. This method can be particularly helpful if you're struggling with sentence structures or verb conjugations. Practice suggestion. Listen to English conversations where people are speaking naturally, such as podcasts or interviews. Pay attention to the structure of their sentences. Try to notice how verbs and tenses are used in real-life contexts. Gaining confidence to speak. One of the biggest hurdles English learners face is the fear of speaking. But by listening regularly, you become more familiar with how English sounds, which can help reduce that fear. The more you listen, the more confident you'll feel in using what you've heard in your own conversations. Over time, you'll find that speaking comes more easily because you've trained your ear to understand the language. Listening also helps you overcome the fear of misunderstanding others. When you're confident in your ability to understand spoken English, you'll feel more at ease joining conversations and sharing your thoughts. This confidence can be the difference between staying silent and becoming a fluent English speaker. Practice suggestion. Listen to English learners' success stories or join an English conversation group online. These experiences will help you gain the courage to speak and practice what you've learned from listening. Developing cultural awareness. Learning English isn't just about understanding words. It's also about understanding culture. When you listen to English speakers, you're not only hearing language but also learning about cultural norms, expressions, and humor. For example, listening to a British podcast might expose you to phrases and idioms unique to British culture, while an American TV show might help you understand American slang. Cultural awareness is important because it allows you to communicate more effectively and understand the context of conversations. By listening to authentic content, you'll learn to understand humor, tone, and sarcasm, which are often missed when learning through textbooks alone. Practice suggestion. Explore different types of content like news, music, or comedy in English. This will not only improve your language skills but also give you insight into English-speaking cultures. Embracing the journey. Learning English takes time, patience, and practice. However, by focusing on listening, you're setting yourself up for faster progress. Remember that it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay not to understand everything right away. Listening is a journey, and each day you listen, you're building your skills bit by bit. So, make listening a daily habit. Find things you enjoy in English, whether it's music, movies, or conversations. By immersing yourself in English and listening as much as possible, you're investing in your own success. Listen today, speak fluently tomorrow. Now that you understand the importance of listening, make it a priority in your English learning journey. Choose one piece of content to listen to every day. It could be a podcast, a song, or a video. Commit to listening regularly, even if it's just for a few minutes. Start today, and watch how your English skills grow. Soon, you'll not only be listening to English but understanding it, speaking it confidently, and connecting with people from around the world. Listening is your key to mastering English faster, so unlock that door and let your journey begin.